Hello, my name is Alex, and I'm here to talk about the life of Harriet Quimby. She was born in Arcadia, Michigan on May 11th, 1875, to a family of farmers. This photo right here is of her old house, which is preserved in Michigan to this day. Her family of farmers, unfortunately, were not very profitable as an enterprise, and she moved to San Francisco during the gold rush with her family, and she became a critic in a local drama newspaper, which is the Leslie Illustrated Weekly, seen over here to the right, much to the displeasure of her family, who wanted her to be like a proper woman of some sort. At age 25, she moved again to New York City to pursue more journalism about the theater and the arts, especially around Broadway. And she also did some script writing and acting as well while she was in New York. Her first introduction to aerospace was in October of 1910 when she went to an aerospace event in Long Island to report on it for her newspaper. And she met a man by the name of John Moisant. I don't know how to pronounce that. Um, they became close friends, and it had really developed her passion for aviation, and they took a couple flying lessons together, and started a small business of doing flight lessons. Unfortunately, John passed away in an aircraft accident a couple months after they started, but this did not hinder Harriet Quimby, and she worked hard. And about a year later, in 1911, she was the first woman to receive a pilot license after passing a written test by that was given out by a French organization through an American Aero Club. This was the first time a woman had passed that test, and so she became the first woman to ever receive a pilot license ever, which is a big moment for women aviation history. She continued to fly around the country after that. That gave her a bit of notoriety, and she continued to pull off more feats for women aviation, including becoming the first woman to fly at night, um, and continuing to fly at different air shows around the country, showcasing women aviation, doing a little barnstorming in the lot. Her claim to fame was in April 16th of 1912. She became the first woman to fly across the Channel, which is the body of water between the UK and France. This was a pretty momentous occasion because up until that point, about 9 men had done it and no woman had ever crossed the Channel. So she was she flew. It took her a couple hours. She flew through not great conditions. There were great conditions on the Sunday prior, but she refused to fly on the Sunday, so she flew on Tuesday. She had she flew through dense fog. She only had her instincts, a compass, and a bottle of hot water to keep her warm in the frigid temperatures above the channel. But thankfully, she made it across, and she landed on a beach at the other side, and it was a great moment for women's aviation. No woman had ever crossed the channel before. Unfortunately for her, though, and her endeavor was not very widely covered by the press, because at the same time she was flying across the channel, the Concordia was rescuing passengers from the Titanic, which had just sunk to the bottom of the ocean. And as a result, that kind of just took all the hype away from her accomplishment, and everyone was really focused on the Titanic tragedy and all of the results from that. Unfortunately, she did not live much longer after that trans-channel flight. She received some recognition for it, and she even became the poster mascot for VinFizz, which was the same company that coincidentally sponsored Calbreth Rogers' first transcontinental flight across the United States. But unfortunately, um, she did lose her life on July 1st of 1912, only a handful of months after her Channel flight, at an air show in Boston, where her plane unfortunately and catastrophically tilted forward, which flung her out of her seat, and she fell to her death, unfortunately. So, an unfortunate note, but she is a very significant figure in women aviation history, and I thank you for listening.